This is an excerpt of a recent Power Up webinar covering the color tools inside Apple Final Cut Pro. Hi, my name is Larry Jordan. In this short video tutorial, I'll show you two quick color tricks. The first is how to correct a color cast, and the second is how to make sure your skin tones are accurate. Here's a good example. I have a plane that's got a severe green cast. How do I fix it? Well, I could open up the inspector and click the color wheels and start to make all kinds of changes, but that life is too short. Here's a better trick. Select the clip. Go to this magic wand icon and select balance color. Now watch the screen very closely and notice that when I apply the setting, virtually nothing changes because the automatic setting is limited value at best. But if I go to the inspector, Command 4, and go to the video inspector and change balance color from automatic to white balance, and now with the eyedropper colored blue, if you click on something that's supposed to be white or gray, watch the plane in 2, 1, woof. Look at how quickly it took that color cast out. Remember earlier I said that if something is supposed to be gray or white, it must have equal amounts of red, green, and blue. Well, what this does is this clicks on or samples the color I click on, figures out how those that are out of balance, and then adjusts the gray, blue, and green values so that they are equal, and it dials out the color cast. Oh, pshaw, I hear you say, Larry, it can't be that easy. So let's click on this clip here. We have what I have labeled the green girl. Very attractive, but consumed with jealousy. Again, go to the balance color, switch this to white balance, make sure the eyedropper is blue, which means active, and click on something that's supposed to be white or gray. Let's click on her t-shirt. Look at that. This is before, and this is after. But what about here? Here I've got a problem because Lindsay just doesn't look healthy somehow, and I've got all this garbage. Well, let us pretend, because actually this clicking on gray would work with these Japanese screens back here. Let's pretend the Japanese screens are any color except gray, and let's try and solve the problem. Here's another really powerful trick. If I switch this to the first, I got to select the clip, and let's find a nice smile from Lindsay, and click on the crop icon. It opens up the crop box, and let's just crop to find some skin. Now, you don't want to look for the face because far too often people, especially women, are wearing makeup, and that changes the color of their skin. I tend to look at the forehead, and I tend to look at the neck. Those tend to not have they may have foundation on it, but they tend not to change the color of their foreheads or their neck. So now I've cropped in on this. Let's show the scopes. And look at that. It's supposed to be on the skin tone line, but it's kind of off. And look at how dark it is. So here's the other trick. Let's click on the color wheels. Doesn't work with color board. This setting isn't there, but it is on the color wheels. And rather than try and adjust this using the color wheels itself, go down to the hue command and just drag the hue command to put the line on the skin tone line. Now, sometimes this is really sensitive, so let's just set it to 9. And notice that by rotating the color 9 degrees, it's now on the skin tone line. Let's set it to 10. Better. And now it's a little dark. When you need to boost something, don't boost the shadows. That affects the darkest. Don't do the midtones. It tends to cause a bulge. Let's just pull the highlights up a bit. And this is not real saturated. She's Caucasian. It should be around 40%, somewhere around in there. And we have the greatest effect on saturation by adjusting midtones, not the global. So let's just open the midtones up a bit, right about there. And now let's take a look. Not bad. We can pull this down a bit because we've got those highlights way up there. So we'll just boost this. Pull this down a bit, but notice our color. Now, yes, this is illegal because of that bright light that I'm shining, bright light shining at the screen. But for right now, I'm showing how to adjust the color. And this is before, and this is after. Notice how we've taken the greenish cast away. We've improved the saturation. I still would do other things. I'd add a broadcast safe filter, which I'll show you a little bit later. I don't want to get that carried away quite yet. But I used this open neck to make sure my skin was properly set. And there's advantages to this, both in terms of how we used crop to isolate on a particular region and how we were able to use the skin tone line to get the skin to be at the exposure, that is to say, where it should be in terms of brightness and saturation and on the skin tone line. This was an excerpt of a recent Power Up webinar covering the color tools inside Apple Final Cut Pro. For the complete version of this online training, please visit my store at larryjordan.com/store and look for Webinar 354. By the way, when you need to stretch your training dollars, membership in our video training library saves you money and time. You can access all our videos for a low monthly price of only $19.99. That's almost 2,000 movies, hundreds of hours on a wide variety of subjects. Plus, premium members can download practice media and projects. Our training covers Apple and Adobe software. We update it multiple times each month, and for more information, visit larryjordan.com/membership. And thanks.